Hi, this is BB. It's 2:05, 2:03, 2:05 in the morning. I must have slept maybe like a half an hour to an hour. There's this smell of like, it's not exactly menthol crystal. It has a cooling effect, but it's not, doesn't have this smell of menthol crystal. But my whole chest feels like it's on fire, and it just like really bad heartburn is what it feels like. And it's like I can't breathe. I don't know what it is. And it's just I'm pissed off again, of course, because I don't think it's a coincidence. Like I mentioned this before, I don't think it's a coincidence that I ended up here. Now, this may not be the best of neighborhoods, but it's all I can afford. And like I mentioned before, how easy it is from my standpoint, from the way how I observed the path that my life took for this last year, how easy it is to actually control a person's life and where they go. How do you control a person's life? Is that you attack their finances at the knees. You cripple them financially. With financial crippling in combination with hacking, the person is looking for places to move, to live. You're controlling their router. They're only getting a handful of places coming up in Craigslist or Facebook or wherever that you want them to see. Because, believe it or not, hackers can filter what you see. How many times have you done a Google search and you find after page 3, it says end of results? Prior to when all this craziness started in your life, when have you ever experienced that? Google will put other things that vaguely resembles the search term at some point and keep piling stuff on, where you're 10, 11 pages, 12 pages deep. After like 2 pages, sometimes it says you run out. Even on YouTube, end of results. This never happens. It means you're being filtered. Your traffic is being filtered. Anytime you keep coming up to end of results prematurely or quickly, it means somebody is filtering your results. You're only being shown what they want you to see. The videos that they want you to see, or the things on the links on Google that they want you to see, or Yahoo, Bing, whatever that they want you to see. I didn't know this until I had to actually be forced to do the research. If the person controls your router, or maybe in this case if they clone your phone, you're screwed basically. I was told recently, I think I saw on the internet, where in the past it used to be where they send you a link and you click on the link and they take over your device. Now you don't have to do that. They just send you a text message and they can take over your phone just like that, whether you open it or not. I guess it means they just need your phone number. I was looking at one time on eBay they were selling these old FBI devices. Now I don't know, they say some of them work, some of them don't. Now, what are these devices? If they work, the ones that did work, they were selling them for like $100 each or something like that, or $100 for the whole pile. What if some of those devices did work? Now, what do those devices do? What program runs within those devices? What programs run within those devices? Are they able to get people's information? Are they able to control people's information? Are they able to get people's identity? Are they able to control people's identity? What are they able to see? When an FBI has a database and they run your name on it, you trust them because they're law enforcement, because you're looking for help. What if those devices, if a person knows how to operate them, how to run them? What if they're in the wrong hands? What if the same program is accessible to a criminal? Then they'll know everything about you, just like what the FBI will know. Now, why are those devices for sale? Who would sell them? Why are they selling them? Where did they get them from? I think the FBI needs to be a little more careful with their surplus or their old equipment. I think they should just have a department or a couple of guys to break them down. Break them down and recycle them. Do not give them to the public. I mean, that would be pointless, wouldn't it? Then there's no elite anymore. There's no distinction between them and the criminals. Because the same information they would have, the criminals would have it. And I'm just asking, it's a simple, my request, please, Mr. FBI, Ms. FBI, these devices should not be just handed out willy-nilly to every Tom, Dick, and Harry. I don't want it. I don't want to know other people's monetary situation and where they came from. And I don't need to know all this. I'm a human being, and the temptation might be there. I don't want to know. I really don't want to know. I don't want trouble, and I don't want trouble. My thing is, the modern day criminals now, it's like I just was saying to myself, modern day criminals, they're utilizing every part of the person. It's not like they're coming and they're stealing from you and they're leaving. They're coming, they're taking over your whole life. They're taking over your whole life. They'll take over your life, and then they have the nerve, some of them will actually claim that that it's happening to them too. See, they have to do that because they have to feel, they have to give, it was happening to them as well. Because I'm pretty sure the people who are doing this to me will at some point do the same thing. Say, well, it was happening to one of them, or the other one was doing it to one of them. See, they know how this works. They say not their first rodeo. They know how it works. But what I'm saying is, I'm just tired. It'll go right back to what I'm saying. They utilize every part of the person. They will steal their money. They will steal inheritances, whether the person is aware of them or not, I'm sure. Now again, where the fuck are they getting all this information from? They're using psychics now. They're utilizing psychics. I think police and law enforcement would utilize psychics to aid them in finding people who've been missing or things that have been missing, which is noble. But I think the modern day criminals are using them now to find lost treasures. Where have they hidden this and where have they hidden that, and how much money they have? But they utilize every aspect. So what they will have to do, what will they look for in an individual to make themselves feel secure that this is not going to turn back to bite them in the face? They will look for people, I guess, who are not close to their family, or not physically close to their family, who don't really talk to close to family, or close to have a big circle of friends. And you will find that person just little by little just edges away from society, willingly, of course, until suddenly they either disappear, they show up with a heart attack, stroke, aneurysm, they're jailed for some crime that they didn't commit, or they just put in a mental institution because they're becoming more and more irrational every day, talking about gang stalkers, and the police can't seem to find anybody. They lock them away. And then all the assets, well, it's gone. In my case, I was in a con last year. This is a con. It had to be in a con, the whole thing. Because two of the people involved had established themselves as relatives of mine. Now, this was done through a legitimate business, even if it was just for inquiry purposes. To supposedly, one of them was supposedly trying to help the other one, and needed me as an in-between. One was identified as a family member, and the other one. So if they have that on piece of paper, see how I fell into it. If they had that on a piece of paper, and something is wrong with me, I just disappear, heart attack, whatever, stroke. They can get me any which way. Classify me as mentally insane. They can become my quote-unquote legal guardians. They determine now what happened to my estate that I didn't even fucking know I had. Right? I'm just imagine how bad it is. You got money out there, you're struggling from day to day. They know you have money, and then suddenly you're in this cage and you can't even touch it. And it all seems very legal. But nobody believes you because you're already branded as irrational and you're branded as crazy. You're branded as irrational and crazy. After all, you're the one who's seeing people outside your, hearing people outside your wall, and every time the cop shows up, there's nobody there. You're the one who's telling people it's been over a year, and you know these people are following you. You know that they're messing with you, and there's no physical evidence to support it, except the hacking, of course. But nobody seems to want to look at hacking. Like it's like the police or people don't want to look at the hacking because it's like the guilty shame. Because the local police don't seem to be equipped to take care of it. And the FBI, well, I'm not, the big boys. So I don't qualify. And I'm sorry for us. And this makes me sad. I feel like I want to cry for us because I don't know. I mean, some of us will have money, but I think mostly some of us will probably have they will tack insurance on us. Remember, if they're hacking, they can do these things. They can do these things. Under the guise of COVID, lots of things were just mailed in. Lots of things were just mailed in. So, things were just mailed in. This COVID caused this COVID caused a lot of disassociation. Humans were just scattered and not around each other. So, lots of things were just mailed in because they first started seeing each other less, and then they started talking to each other less and doing everything by literal snail mail. And this trend is still continuing. There's less human contact now. Basic, minimal human contact. But anyway, it's almost you feel like a cow. In some countries, in my old country, countries like poor country, well, not poor country, criminal run countries. Most countries that are run by criminals, the natural resources, oh my God. Where's the US then? You ever notice the countries that are being run by the criminals and the thugs are the ones that are richest in the natural resources? Think about that. The ones that are richest in the natural resources, whether it's rainforest, whether it's minerals, whether it's oil, whether it's gold, diamond, those are the ones that are being run mostly by the thugs. Think about that. When a country is war torn, how easy it is for a third party to help themselves. Because mostly the people who are fighting the civil war, the civil unrest within the country are dumb shits who don't care anything about just having power over their own people and shooting the shit out of them. It's easy for a third party to just step in and help themselves for a few dollars more. But anyway, I mean, they don't have to deal with governments then, do they? They're dealing with a bunch of nincompoops who are lording it over each other. So they don't really care. But anyway, it's like third world, these countries where you utilize every part of the cow. Every part of the cow. From the hide, to the hooves, to the tail. That's what they're doing to people like me and certain people like, of you who are being targeted. But it's like little by little we're just disappearing into the woodwork until we just die of a heart attack, because they have various ways now they can induce things in our lives. Mostly they're using drugs. I think they know what they're doing. They know the various ways and means. The hacking is one. Cripple your business. Some people just I'm sure I've been exposed to drugs. I'm just not an addict. I just have no desire to be an addict. I mean, I don't understand what that means. I don't care. I completely abhorred the use of drugs. I don't want drugs. If somebody is using, that's on them. I can't tell them no. But I personally don't. And the smell. I don't know what these smells are. And then this feeling of being microwaved. I mean, all this stuff. I don't know. I don't know where they're getting this technology from. I don't know. Is there an old army base someplace that's just disappeared? I don't know. That's just empty and left a bunch of shit and they went and they helped themselves? I don't know. Then they need to take care of their stuff better than that. And I know when I put these videos out there, I feel like, I don't know. But hey, I mean, the criminals are pushing me, it's like they want me to say certain things to get into trouble with the law. Yes, the much trouble that I can get in is suited for them, but they don't want too much again because they don't want too much attention to me. Too much attention to me is going to put a foil damper on their plans. So they'll push you, but then they want to keep you within these two lines. They have these two lines drawn in the sand, and they want to keep you in between. It's like cattle, herding us like cattle. Like cattle, basically. But every part of us will be utilized down to probably life insurance. Especially if we have assets that we don't know of, they can show, well, look, we have this much. They have like $1 million inheritance somewhere, or some business they started and they didn't finish it, or whatever, $1 million idea, whatever, and then put on like $2-3 million in life insurance on you, and then there you go now, going along your merry way, chump, something goes wrong and that person is millions of dollars richer. And you don't even know who they are, where all of this shit is coming from, but you're just find that your life is just diminishing in capacity until you diminish completely. And I want to know where the police is in all of this. Especially where these people getting this information from. Are you really checking who you're hiring? Are you paying attention to who you're hiring, Mr. Law Enforcement? I love the law, but is the law becoming a little lax? Are you paying attention to who you're hiring? Maybe it's time to pay a little closer attention. And to those of you who this is happening to, stay safe. No matter what you do, stay safe. And I feel almost like I have to coach you in a sense, like we're in a fucking zombie outbreak, like one of those, how stupid this is. But it almost is like a zombie outbreak, isn't it? The zombies only you and I know. They're very real. We know them and they know them, but law enforcement seems oblivious to them, or other people seem like they have no idea what's going on, because they really can't help. So be safe, stay strong, and be there for somebody else. If it's not you, somebody else needs your help, be there for them. That's the most you can do as a friend or a family member right now.